You know, it's kind of sad how many games and franchises get forgotten and just kind of die off. From stuff like Chibi Robo and F-Zero to the title of this video, this stupid goober. I love the Klonoa series. Yes, even the stupid volleyball game. I adore that one. And it's really upsetting to see this series not be acknowledged anymore. So I will take on the noble task of being the first person ever to talk about this game, because absolutely no one has talked about this game at all. Nope. No one. I'm the very first. Just trust me, bro. This game had like a somewhat interesting development. Like, Klonoa was originally this. It was apparently originally a tie-in to a manga, and apparently the game used 3 buttons instead of 2. That's insane. But, you know, eventually in 1997, Klonoa Door to Phantom Isle was released on the PlayStation 1. Starting the game, we get this CGI opening that looks really good for 1997. It's not the best I've ever seen on the PS1, but it's far better than stuff like Pac-Man World, which came out 2 years after this, by the way. Same company. We then get this really nice, catchy title jingle. Starting a new profile, we actually get to name it. Obviously, I had to make it something funny, so I made it a dead meme. Starting the game, we get another CG cutscene starting with a monologue about dreams. We then see Klonoa playing in the woods before a ring suddenly crashes into the ground and whatever this is pops out. Klonoa almost immediately befriends it, and they start playing until a huge dark cloud appears and Klonoa wakes up completely fine. Then something crashes near where Klonoa lives, just like his dreams, and he and his friend Hupao, which is the goofy blue ball's name, they had to check it out. Starting the first level. First off, this game is aesthetically amazing. The game uses 2D sprites against 3D backgrounds, and it works really well at blending into the environment. It also helps that these character designs are, like, amazing. I mean, come on, look at Klonoa. This is peak character design. Also, this game uses its own made-up language instead of voice acting, and it's really charming. Even if the characters sound like they're talking in a 2009 COD lobby. Oh, also, the music is fantastic and Klonoa is adorable. Anyways, now that we're starting the actual game part, I should probably, like, review it. Wowzers, what is it? Some kind of video game review? Klonoa can walk, jump, you know, the basics. But the unique part comes in his offensive abilities. To defeat enemies, Klonoa uses this ring he has to shoot a wind bullet and inflate his enemies. Oh no. Well, anyways, he can throw inflated enemies, and the best part, since it's technically a 3D world, Klonoa can interact with the background by throwing enemies into it. It really helps the series, like, stand out and results in some easy yet clever puzzles. There's also bonus content you can unlock by popping these bubbles and freeing Phantom Islands, because the place Klonoa lives in is called Phantom Isle, which is why the game is called Door to Phantom Isle. Just thought I'd explain that. So anyways, after some intense platforming, we meet this goofy dude named Baloo, who is an absolute simp for this girl named Laphise. In fact, he's such a simp that he built an entire tower for her. He yells at us, we leave, and then we enter level 2, a cave. Not much to mention here until we reach the end, seeing these two suspicious guys, this bird dude named Gaudius and this short dude named Joka. We also see an unconscious Laphise here, and then Gaudius mentions something about a song of rebirth before kidnapping Laphise. Guys, I think this intimidating dude with the deep cloak, dark robe, and menacing way of speaking may have malicious intentions. I don't know, just a feeling I got. We get spotted and Gaudius leaves to make Joka deal with us, and Joka brings out this huge lizard to fight us. Well, not only are they evil, they're lazy! Anyways, we fight the lizard. My emulator messes up the sound. And the lizard explodes. Joka flees and Klonoa finds this weird pendant in a bell. He asks his grandpa about it and we learn that it's the crest of the Moon Kingdom, a mythical kingdom whose existence is only a legend. He tells us to warn the Forlock Forest chiefess, who in the original PS1 version is called Granny for some reason? I don't know. As we arrive, we find out that the forest is dying. Our adventure is stopped by an impassable obstacle. A door. Then a Forlock guard teaches us how to open locked doors with a key. Problem solved. We eventually find this one tiny little dude from a kingdom called Jugpot. He says something weird is happening there, and so, well, I bet you can guess where we head next. As we arrive at Jugpot, we find out that the water is flowing backwards. You know, I don't think it's supposed to do that. After some platforming, we find a small fish stuck in a cage. We free him, and he says that a bunch of weirdos came and messed up the castle. Gee, I wonder who— oh wait, I already did this joke in the last video. God! The fish, whose name is Corral, takes us to the castle and also requests that we save his mom. We enter the castle and immediately the king attacks us, and we engage in a boss with some of the most epic music I've ever heard for a second boss in a video game. Also, Klonoa drowns. We defeat him, and he turns back to normal, which is the same kind of logic that they had in Mario and Luigi, along with us saving Corral's mom. Joka then yells at us, we scare him away, and the king restores the water flow to normal. We head back to the forest, and hey, look at that! It's like undying. We then ride a crazy three-dimensional gondola, and then crash into Granny's house. This level is kind of annoying with how much it has you wait, but it's not like bad. By the end, we find Joka interrogating Granny. We arrive, you know, same thing. He gets angry and we fight that thing. Apparently it's called Gelgboom. We kill it as, you know, usual. Talk to Granny, including learning that the moon pendant may be the key to the mystical Moon Kingdom. No way. And then suddenly Joka overhears us, saying that our grandpa has the moon pendant, and he heads off to take it. Well, we head off, taking a shortcut through some ruins. After, like, the only level with no cutscenes, I think. We catch up with Grandpa, so he's safe. Huh. Okay, but, like, this is a kid's game. They wouldn't, like, kill him, right? Oh! So Joka just nukes Klonoa's grandpa and takes the pendant? We also fight this thing, but that's not as important as the fact that Klonoa's grandpa died! Klonoa then talks to his grandpa. His grandpa tells him that he's proud of him, that he must stop Joka and Gaudius before he finally dies. What the fuck? I think I agree with most that this moment here is when the game really becomes something special. Up till now, the game had pretty typical cartoony platformer writing, but from this point onwards, it slowly begins to unravel into something way deeper and emotional, and honestly, I really like it. The game's writing is pretty great. But I should probably continue, shouldn't I? So, Klonoa's depressed because, you know, Grandpa dead, plus Joka's escaped to awaken the Moon Kingdom. Suddenly, Pamela, Corral's mom, shows up. She also flies now. She offers to take us to the Temple of the Sun, a temple in the sky that could also be the key to the Moon Kingdom. This remotivates Klonoa, and he rides Pamela to the temple. As we enter the temple, we meet two priests named Solaire and Solel, who also somehow knew we were coming. They tell us that we need to get these 4 orbs to put on these 4 pedestals to open the door to the altar. So yeah, we do that because a video game. We enter the altar door, and all of a sudden a solar eclipse starts happening. Wow, how convenient. Yippee! We also find out that Gaudius is actually a nightmare reawakening from a 3,000-year-old sleep. I mean, checks out. The next level uses that super convenient solar eclipse, and it's kind of annoying because it just kind of requires that you wait for a bit, and it tries to keep you on your toes with this guy who doesn't understand personal space, but it still just doesn't work. Eventually, we confront Gaudius and Joka. Gaudius explains that he simply wants revenge for trapping nightmares in darkness, but I mean, that doesn't really justify what he's doing. Gaudius goes off to awaken the Moon Kingdom, but Joka stops us and faces off against us with his amazing superpower of becoming 3D! This boss is also the worst one in the game. It's just kind of frustrating to hit. Anyways, he dies, the Moon Kingdom reawakens, Klonoa gets extremely angry, and Pamela takes us to the Moon Kingdom. We start the first of the final 2 levels with one of the most soothing songs I've ever heard in a video game. Anyways, we see that Hupao is probably hiding something. We continue on, and we see this egg thing. But we also find this guard who's calling Hupao sire, and we meet the Queen of the Moon Kingdom, who's talking to Hupao like she's his mother. So yeah, Hupao's the Prince of the Moon Kingdom. Klonoa takes this pretty well, actually, saying that it doesn't invalidate their years of friendship. I sure hope nothing bad happens to that friendship at all. Now we're at the final level, as we do a butt ton of puzzles and finally confront Gaudius, who calls us a strange dream for some reason. Dude goes down like a punk. Everyone cheers as we finally beat the game. Fake out. Gaudius releases some creature called Nahatum from that egg from earlier, and we gotta go kill it. Also, Hupao says that Nahatum is specifically after Klonoa, but won't say why. Little piece of shit. We take on Nahatum in the final boss, killing him with cannons, then killing his goofy looking soul, then try to kill him with cannons again. After doing the same thing again doesn't work, I don't know why, Hupao nearly sacrifices himself by having Klonoa put him on a wind bullet. That kills Nahatum and rescues Lafise. Hupao survives, and everyone celebrates. We then cut to Klonoa and Hupao resting at Bell Hill, with Klonoa pretty excited now that everything's back to normal. Hupao, though, seems pretty quiet and really distant. Hupao then drops the bombshell that Klonoa isn't actually from Phantom Isle. Klonoa, of course, doesn't believe him. Hupao explains a bit more, saying that he brought Klonoa from his world to Phantom Isle so he could restore balance, even giving Klonoa fake memories of them being friends. Which means that Klonoa didn't even actually know Hupao for that long, and also Klonoa's grandpa isn't actually his grandpa. Hupao then says that Lafise's Song of Resurrection will send Klonoa back to his own world, but Klonoa still doesn't believe him. Then Lafise starts singing her Song of Resurrection. All the while though, Klonoa tries to stay, and Hupao eventually tries to stop him from going too, but Klonoa gets sent back to his world. Phantom Isle finally returns to normal. Well, that just happened. Yeah, this game's definitely different from most other cartoony platformers. The story is great, and the gameplay's fun, if a bit easy. Actually, we're not done yet. You see, remember when I mentioned Trapped Phantom Aliens? Well, if you collect all of them, an extra stage called Baloo's Tower is unlocked, and it actually has a story. The story is that Baloo is a Discord mod. We basically go through his now finished tower, which is one of the most difficult platforming sections of the game. And when we reach the top, Baloo is trying to win the affections of a Laphise, only for him to be rejected because, well, you know, obvious. We unlock a sound test from Laphise, and now we're done. That was a pretty good game. Even with that extra stage, it's still pretty easy. Or maybe I'm just that skilled, you know, with this footage here. You can see I'm a pro gamer. But anyways, it doesn't make it that much worse. Oh yeah, the Wii version. Yeah, the Wii version is alright. Some people absolutely hate it, but it's really fine. It's in full 3D now and looks really nice for a 2008 Wii game. They did make the second boss easier for some reason, and there's English voice acting now.
Okay, it's nice to meet you.
They redubbed the entire game in English, and it's mostly good, except for Klonoa.
Wahoo! Come on, let's go!
Why he sound like that? Most people hate this version for that, even though it actually lets you swap to a Phantom Island dub. It's not just the same crunchy PS1 recordings too, they're actually new recordings. They made Joka sound really weird though.
와, 라티노 디노마이. 왔다, 웨딩다. 봐봐. 웨티리에디토.
Otherwise, it's good. Except for the human models. I don't like them. No. There's also the Fantasy Reverie version, which uses the OG PS1 sound, so redesigns everything to look closer to that OG version. I couldn't capture footage of this version, so thanks Wishing Tikal for the footage. I'm sure you don't mind, I'll include a link. I like this version, but I think I prefer the original for the sprite work. The stuff it adds isn't even that great anyways. So overall, you should play Klonoa. I'd recommend the Fantasy Reverie series since it's on modern consoles, but if you want to play the Wii or PS1 versions, you could either pay a super ridiculous price or...
Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. You're hard-fitted indeed. Being a pirate is a wretched thing.
Or you could buy the super cheap PSN version on PS3. I was going to complain about having input lag while emulating the PS1 version, but I found out the real cause. It wasn't the emulator, it was... I can't make a single one of these reviews without some random technical problem. Anyways, bye.